Welcome everyone to a session on job placements and how you could successfully get your resume into the market, how you could make sure that your resume draws attention, and how we're going to make sure that you land in the job. So these are no new rocket science. This has been there for ages, and this has been something that each of you have done to certain extent. The essence of this session is to try and give you that complete end-to-end overview of what really happens, what can you do differently so that you increase and improve your chances significantly. All right. So hopefully this session, which will last a few hours, will walk you through a lot of these details. I'll keep it very open-ended. I'm going to keep it very interactive, and I have not prepared any specific slides for it. But what we're going to do is we're going to walk through each and every point, and then I'm going to present to you how we're going to go about. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is there are different phases to building a resume, right? Like I was showing here, there are different phases here. So the phase one, as I was saying, is the building a resume itself. How do you go about creating that resume that will really get you um, into those next phase of getting the calls and so on. All right. So before we get into the phase one of building a resume, I want you to understand the ground, the phase zero. Okay, the cycle of recruitment and who does what. All right, basically the roles and responsibilities. In this, you will get a clear understanding of what is really going through with every phase of recruitment. Why is it starting? How does it work, and so on. All right. This is not a cycle from your perspective. This is a cycle that we will create from a job's life cycle. Okay. So if you look at a job, all right, as a event, then there is a life cycle for it. So it is born somewhere and it dies somewhere. Rather, it starts somewhere, it ends somewhere. That is the perspective that you need to look at it. So once you put in this perspective to it, you will notice that the first significant trigger. What happened? Let me make sure. Team, at this moment, I'm assuming my audio is good, my video is good. Can you please confirm on the chat, please? Yes, all right. So if anyone cannot hear me, then it's an issue at your end, please. You need to check. Audio, but I'm going to put it in the chat. Audio and video seems to be working fine. Because live sessions, so there are members attending from different parts of the world. So just want to make sure that each of you are comfortable. So sit back, team, sit back, relax, because it's a little long session, a few hours through the day. We will have few breaks in between and we'll go back. So where do you think a job starts from? Think about it. I want this to be a really more of a brainstorming session than a one-way presentation. Think about what really happens. How does a job get created? There is something that triggers that, right? So there's a starting point. What do you think that starting point is? That starting point is a requirement, right? A requirement is basically a job requirement. But before that, there is a project requirement, right? A job is part of a project, right? There is some need that got generated. Okay, there is an overall need for it. A job is a part of that project or ongoing activity. Now when I say this project, in IT typically it is all project. While this concept will work for any industry, we are more purely focused on IT, right? So for us, it is typically all projects. Even if it is a product development or a services company or so, you are assigned to one or more projects together, right? But before you get into a project requirement, there is an overall user requirement. All right. Basically, the client, the customer, the market, okay, the government, or the competition is driving a requirement to come, right? They're saying that, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to get a Facebook integration to our website, or we need to create a new e-commerce chart because our customers need it. Then a project is made out of it, or projects are made out of it, and that gets into the job requirement. So you will notice that as we go along in presenting this, there are different players, there are different people involved. Okay, we will highlight these people who are involved into the role play as we go along. Okay, so then there is a job requirement. Your project will get translated into a specific job. Okay, every project is broken down into various jobs, right? So you need a project manager, you need a lead, you need an architect, you need developers, you need test engineers, you need database architects, you need business users, you need business analysts, you need the whole bunch of people, everyone, right? So all roles need to be filled. All right, how? Internally. Okay, where now comes the uh, staffing the project. When I say staffing the project, I'm saying that, hey, it is at this point in time when we identify what needs to be done. It needs to be done through, give me 1 second, team. I'm just thinking if this session has to go on ongoing. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we have to identify who is available, all right? Who is not available, or which roles are not available. Okay, and what are the alternates? All this happens during the staffing meeting. Now these things happen even before the project comes into our hands for execution. So uh, every IT team, every IT department has a bunch of projects listed as a priority. They are driven through sometimes support tickets that they've fixed some defects in the previous releases. Then there are market drivers that the business says that, hey, you know what, go and work with the support team to make this happen, and so on. All these things are given and put into a list. That list, as I say, is the one which is used to prioritize which project to go first. Once a project is identified that, yes, this is what we need to do, that is when we go about saying that, hey, this is what it is. So from user requirement, the project requirement comes, then it gets to a job requirement, each individual job, then we look at staffing the project. So at this point, for the roles which are not available to fulfill with people internally, they don't have real clear plan, then they need to launch a job requirement, a job description. All right, and here is where the job is really born. It's really come out into the open. Now comes the overall hunt for the consultant. When I say consultant, it can be a employee, contractor, anyone, uh, for the right fit. Let's say the right fit. So far, if you see, the position that you're applying already has all this history. They've gone through everything. Now they want you to fill that spot. So you see the criticality of how much you're playing already. We think a job is a regular job, but there's so much that's happening into it. Once the right fit gets identified, then they go about into the cycle of training, grooming, getting the project executed, and then improving it overall or making changes if needed, right? So a job description needs to specify all the requirements. All right. So we need to very specifically make sure that you go in and you create your look at the job description very, very clearly, because it will tell you so much. Depending on the job description, depending on where the requirement is it on site, is it offshore, is it a full time, is it a contract or a contract to hire, then they will look at what kind of where to put that and so on. We are not yet done with this phase 0 team, but before this, location, pay, duration, what else, skills, okay, experience, must have tools, uh, good to have tools. What else is there? Anything else that you can think of that should get filled with the job description? All right, all of these things have to be provided, because unless we provide these specific individual items, you cannot really identify and say, hey, yes, this is what we want to be doing, correct? So all this data has to be really filled out for a job to make sense. Apart from this, a job description team will have very specific information on what needs to have, right? uh, I'm going to call this as additional info for the job. All right. So team, any questions so far of what we're doing? Moving expenses. Yeah. So the best way for us to see that is open up the exact providers for this relocation. Let's put it. There's nothing wrong in putting it there, because it's not necessary relocation or local candidates. That's what they sometimes say. If they expect to have any certifications for this, and yes, does it require travel, or is it a telecommute, or is it work from home, right? And yes, things like is it for a green card holder or a citizen, right? The visa status is important. Right, all of these things are important. Now let's take a quick look at some of the applications where you tend to post jobs, right? So let's look at dice.com. This is one good source from a US IT market. Then we have career builder, and we have monster, three most important areas for it. Now as part of this team, you need to make sure that you put your resumes in multiple places, not just one place, because there's some you need to know how the recruiters are placing the jobs, because that will really play a big role for each of us. Okay, so let's just talk about a simple job description. How does it look? Or a few simple job descriptions. Let us say that we're looking for automation testing, automation testers. This is the search term that I have used. Okay, how a candidate is searching is how a job, everyone wants to win in this game. So a recruiter also wants to put the right information accordingly. So let's say that I'm searching for this in San Jose, California. All right, let's see what happens when we run the search. Fine. The reason we're doing it is, at this point we can look at a job description, and before we get into finding the right person, what happens. Okay, job boards, All right. Then external recruiters. Then we have HR. Then we have partner slash vendor slash offshore. Okay. Employee referrals. All right. HR has their own database. So what else is there? Are there any other ways or means of doing this from a client's perspective? Social network, website, um, advertisements, banners, etc. Right. So here are the various ways that you will see a job could be posted so that it gets visible. So there is a whole science. The entire industry is trying to get focused at finding out the right people. So they want you as desperately as you want a job. Are you the right fit for all that you see here is what the point is. Okay. The user requirement, the project requirement, the job requirement, the current staff which is there, the description, the additional info that is required. Are you matching all of them is what becomes critical. So for example, let's look at this QA automation tester. All right. So here is the title. This talks about the company. Typically, it could be a middle layer, it could be a vendor, and so on. As I explain these, you'll understand all these concepts. Let me come out of the Skype. Okay, there you go. So we have skills, we have location, area code, travel required, yes or no, telecommute, pay rate, term, length, posted, position ID, dice ID. So this specific information is okay. You don't really need to bother much. But what is important in this is the date posted. It talks about the freshness of the job. Sometimes there's an old post which keeps on coming back over and over again, but it is not yet active, right? They're not, or it's not yet filled. So that makes sense. So we should put definitely the date posted. uh, this doesn't come right from here, because when you're posting the job, this does not have to appear, but it appears overall. Date, position, posted. So this will freeze once we post the job, right? Now, if you notice on this specific requirement team, there are different things. There's a title, there is a location, there is a duration, and so on. I don't think we put a job title here. Yeah. Right? Because the title is so important. Who is it? In fewest words, what should we say that what this is? All right. Then look at this job details, for example. 5+ years experience, strong experience with test plans, test cases, SDLC, STLC, must have experience with SQL or Oracle databases, then automation tools like QTP, experience with mobile testing, Android instrumentation is a plus, must be team oriented, placing priority on quality and the successful so and so, so and so. Then there's the name of that company and details. Now, position posted, then posted by, right? So this is the level of detail that is required in additional info. In fact, I have never seen such a short job description. They're typically very, very lengthy ones, but I like it. What I see is so neat, so easy. For me, I like it because there is clarity, absolute clarity in what they want. If you write 100 things and then say, hey, you know what, I want something out there for this, then it's diluted, right? Which one to focus on, which specific one to really look at. So this I can understand. See, hello, we are seeking so and so in so and so place. These are the skills required. Then about the company itself, we're talking about. Then we are also talking about that's it. I think what they offer and so on. Right? Different possibilities of how this work can be done. See, these are what are used to build it. Now, why did I open DICE to do this team? To show you what kind of a job description goes in, what kind of an additional info or supporting info goes in. All right. I'll just say this is supporting job info. Now, as a job is getting rolled out, this same specific set of information, which includes the job title, the description, all of this is put together in a document, in an email, or somewhere and being distributed to various stakeholders. It is usually more than one of these sources from where the resource is sourced to them. So this is the finders, this is the recruitment teams and so on. So let's look at the different options. The first option, in fact, it will always start with HR. It will always start with HR. In fact, that should come first. HR is the human resources, which is the internal recruitment team, right? This is the team which will tell us that, hey, are there people available with similar skills that can get filled internally? In fact, even before HR, it can go through the other project teams, because the other projects may have available resources coming out who can be reallocated. So the reallocation can happen easily without any kind of a headache. Someone is already coming out, but they meet most of these skills and then they recruit it. So depending on where the person is coming from, there are different categories under which the evaluation can be done. So let us say that someone is being referred from a project team, very important team. Focus on this and take notes on this, okay? Let us say there's someone coming from a different project team on the side. For that individual, there is a little bit more liberty to bend around, to say, you know what, that's okay. If they don't have this tool, that's okay. If they don't have that tool, that's okay. Why are some amount of flexibility is being given? Okay, there are criteria for selection or selection criteria. We will talk about this. Okay, what is negotiable? So in this case, reallocation is easy. If that happens, great. Or the HR comes in and says, you know what, let me see where else do we have people. Or you know what, let us look at our database and see if we can get people from a full-time employee. Okay. Or direct contractors. All right. Or contract to hire. All right. And so on. So they will go through their existing database, people who have applied earlier, and see if this can happen. Oops. Now, not necessarily that project teams always have people, not necessarily that the HR is ready with a list of people that you could use. That is why the HR places on their own job board. Okay. This is the company's job board through Monster, Dice, Career Builder, Indeed, and so many other tools, right? Now, what they do is once you put it there, they expect that the resumes are flowing in from there, and then they can do an entire evaluation, okay, the screening and so on. The other option for them is to go through external recruiters, and this is one of the largest used option. The reason is very simple, team. To have in-house people who are fully sitting and recruiting can be expensive. It can be sometimes uneven in terms of band work requirement and so on. So External recruiters charge a specific finder fee. They may say that, you know what, tell me what pay rate you want. Okay, you want to pay me $66 an hour, I will get you the right candidate. And they will go about hunting in the market and say, hey, you know what, I need someone, I can pay only $45 an hour, the remaining is my margin. They do the initial screening, they put it on the job boards, they put it on social networks, they collect the resumes, they screen them, and then they finally present the shortlisted ones. So this external recruiters is one of the most widely used. So when the hunt starts, the hunt does not go through that, let's do this, wait for 1 week, let's do this, wait for 1 week, and so on. No. They may go to the project teams and HR for a day, give them 1 day and say, okay, you know what, let us know by tomorrow, or reach out. The HR or the IT project team itself may directly reach out to the external recruiters immediately. Sometimes these recruiters are more with partners, vendors, or offshore teams. These are companies which have been doing similar business with them in different capacities. Sometimes it could be pure staff augmentation, which is finding the people and placing the people. It could be services also, where they say that we know what to do, we know how to build a mobile application. So we will come with the team, we will get you the technical people, the testers, the project managers, and do end to end for you. Okay, there could be your vendors or partners, they do development work, they do support, they do testing, and they do cloud hosting, whatever you want. So you may reach out to those vendors also and say, when I say you, the project team, all right, the project manager, typically it's more of a head of that department who has this. In fact, one thing I've missed somewhere up in front is the budgeting, because that budget gets rolled out to everywhere. I'll go and fill it up, team, in a second. So this could be another area. And then employee referrals, we may ask the employees itself, saying that, hey, we have these requirements coming up, or put it in their own job site, in their own website, under jobs section, um, or advertise it using on social networks with an ad or with a requirement itself. So you could be using any of these to really make sure that we get the right fit. And this whole process is time consuming and expensive. So it is very, very critical for you to understand where the recruiters are coming from and why this is important to you. All right. So in here, one of the other things is the staffing the project. All right. Uh, Budget. In fact, the staffing budget allocation doesn't even come here. User requirement, project requirements. Okay. See, it's way above. Budget approval. Every project needs an approved budget, because if there is no financial approval to it, they don't know how much it is costing. So every project, even if it is already staffed with people in house, needs the budget approval team, needs to go through this specifically. All right, give me 1 second, please. I'm going to save this and I'm going to call this as uh, placement phase 0. All right. So any questions while I try and hunt for something out here? Let's see, audience, any questions so far? We're not yet done with this overall thing, but I just wanted to do something, yeah, on GoToMeeting. What happened, team, is that this session, in case it gets ended, right, each of you will not be able to register again. So I wanted to make sure, because there's only one session, right? So if we end the session in between, this whole thing will get lost. So my trainings here, this is the registrant list. Okay. All right. So now I have that registration list. So just in case something happens, I can send an email by creating another one. All right, team. So let's continue. So selection criteria. Now this is very important, team. there are three or four main things that can get discussed when the resumes come in. All right. They will say that number one, the skill is mandatory. All right. Rate is negotiable. Okay. For the right candidate or not. Okay. Location constraint can be managed. All right. Um, then we are flexible on the date of joining. In fact, the date of joining is also important. Typically, most of them are immediate requirements. Date of expected joining, right? Do you see where we're going in with all this so far? All of these important information will be put in to make the decision as to what who will get selected. If it's an internal candidate, the skill is not so much more expensive, or they work from a remote location. All right, but they can start immediately. Okay, good. So or there could be an external contractor who has awesome skill, who is right here, who can join immediately, but the rate is significantly higher. Or there's someone with everything but in a different location and cannot join immediately, will take time. So different drivers go into deciding who to select. So your goal is to do well on all these fronts. Right? That is as simple as it is. So if they have that flexibility on lot of these things, then they can say, okay, reference. Who is referring them? Or you know what? We'll prefer this person or the other. Because to shortlist people, all right. So shortlist and conduct interviews. All right. Pre-onboarding. So make sure all the paperwork is done for you. Then onboarding and project execution. Now, as part of all this that I've shown, what becomes so important for you is that the whole idea about you getting into is part of these few selection criteria, Steve. Are you the right person? So the evaluation is never for one specific thing only. So if you look at this job requirement, yes, there is definitely this. So they want RESTful web services for sure as a skill. Okay. If you know frameworks like web and mobile automation testing frameworks, particularly Selenium QTP is a must, then this is what is. Um, so they've put all those mandatory ones here, right? Now let's say that you match these skills, but from a location constraint, you are not here. All right, you are somewhere else, and so on. Then what will happen? You have to do a relocation. So they will say that, hey, you know what, I will relocate. Who is paying for that relocation? So being flexible on many aspects will increase your chances to. Okay, because at the end, that comes through this. Some have much more weight than others. For example, they'll say that, okay, skill is the most important. We will not negotiate on the skill. Rate is negotiable, they'll say. Location is not negotiable. Reference, someone references you, then they have stronger words. Okay, someone has already experienced you. They know how easy or tough it is to work with you and how you will fit the project from their perspective. Even that will put a weightage. This entire flow of how a job starts and till the way point the job ends. Okay, project execution, project end, and so on. is where you need to fit in and find out that, okay, can I be part of this team or not? All right. So, team, this is phase zero. Typically, what happens in the entire before the job comes into the market, what is happening typically at the back end and so on. Let's see if there's anything that we can I can take up as a questions from the audience. Audience, feel free to also raise your hand in case you want to ask me a question through your own audio. So let me see if I can sort people. So Veena and Surya, I'm putting your hands down for now because I don't know if you have a question. Lower this attendee's hand and lower this attendee's hand. If there's a question, then raise your hand again, please, so I can ask, unmute you. All right. Let's see. Veena. Okay. Go ahead, Veena.
Hi, Karthik. The quick question is, I mean, if I want to search for testing jobs, either manual testing is also okay with me, anything. Um, what particular keyword would be helpful? If I give testing, then it comes with other Java requirements, .NET
Sorry.
requirements also.
Yeah.
I want particularly any testing. Manual testing is also fine.
Right. Right. So we will come to that in next few hours. Not few hours,
Okay,
but in the
okay.
next few minutes, we'll be coming to that. How do you search for the jobs? But honestly, you need to sit down and do a lot of this hard work. Simplest answer is the more you try and search for jobs, the more you apply, the better it is for you. Right? That
Okay.
is the simplest thing that I could say. However, it can be done more smartly, it can be done more efficiently. So when we look at our phases, building a resume, getting your resume viewed, taking the first interview calls, and so on, all of these things. In fact, we will go through that also of where you're going to post your resume and all this. Okay, in here.
Okay.
Okay, in
Okay,
phase
Karthik.
two, we will discuss this.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, I think I should put that because it is not explicitly mentioned here, so I want to make sure that that is there. All right, let's see. Surya, you have a question? I have you unmuted, Surya. You can ask a question. Okay, your hand is raised for some reason. Anyways, let's see. Um, Veena, can you put your hand down? Let's see. Rishi, Rishi. Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello? Yeah, so my question is I'm seeing a lot of requirements in QA with Java, with J2 unit, and with uh, almost they're asking for uh, like development, more of a developer job than QA. So if you don't know development, if you don't know those languages, Python, and if you still want to get into QA position, then what is QA's role? Like it feels like more of a development plus QA. On every single job that I look at, they do ask for strong Python, strong Java, strong any language. And if you are just QA, like the other person was asking manual QA, then I believe there are no jobs then, right, in US?
Hmm. So yeah, good point. But let me tell you something on this. Scribble. Oops. I'm just trying to use a scribbler to draw something. All right. Okay, there you go. So the number one thing that we need to understand is that um, the QA role, as you see, has evolved over a period of time. I don't think I'll be able to do it like this, okay? But just as boxes. So what you saw as QA earlier was pure testing. All right, QA was all testing. But over a period of time, what we do, how we use different tools has increased significantly. So it is no longer that QA only does using manual skills. Okay, they do manual, which is a mandatory thing. There's no question about it. But apart from doing it manually, you also do some automation, right? And automation requires the skill of development. Now, when you look at this job post, all right, or agile tester, to be really testing in the fast moving agile world. So when you look at the job post, for example, the one which we were looking at, it's a Java automation tester. You see this? There's a Selenium RC IDE, strong Java programming skills, a strong SQL Server skills, strong experience in Linux, automation skills, right? So what happens is the expectations have changed. If you only search for manual testing, number one, there may be jobs, there will be a lot of jobs on it, but there will be significant competition also. For you to really get distinguished and be able to go there, you need to accept the fact that you need some programming skills. To what extent is what differentiates a software tester from a developer. So if they interview you for the Java automation tester position, they would not speak to you assuming that you're a developer. They would speak to you more from an hey, this is a software tester who wants to do also do some bits of coding and automation as part of the job. Right? That is where the difference will come.
So, so when they ask for, say, you have to be strong in SQL, what exactly that means? Like, does that mean you should know select statements and you should know basic SQL, or does that mean that you need to be having some different type of advanced skills? Because when I look on the internet, I find uh, very basic SQL statements when it comes to testing, and the job profile states like you should be very strong in SQL,
Yeah.
uh, at least 5 6 years of experience in SQL. So how does I put myself in that situation? Like, will I be able to uh, do that job, or will I not be able to do that job?
All right. So let me ask you this: do you have access to any of these database testing tutorials on the website? I'm not sure if you do, yes or
Uh,
not, but most of the members
no.
have it who are attending this session.
Oh, okay.
So now, number one, for the reason the SQL is asked is for backend testing. All right, they want you to be able to go and test and see if the applications are behaving correctly from a data point of view. Is the data flowing correctly? Are the databases being updated correctly? So having a SQL skill is very important. It is one of the most essential things you will see commonly being asked. Good documentation skills is essential. Having good SQL skills is also very essential. And that is the reason I have put some of these together in such a way so that you could take these areas also, like um, database, MS Office, HTML, all of these things. Okay.
Right, right,
Now, you must decide that I need to learn this. Otherwise, you're not going well prepared enough to the war. You are not well, your gear is weak. So your failure percentage will be high. All it will take for you is a 1 month of effort in learning the right things. Of course, that job may not be there, but similar job will keep coming. And there's some base
right.
skills that will come. So that is why I say things like database, HTML, MS Office are kind of mandatory. You need to know it. Then pick one or more tools. Like let's say that you want to pick a quality center and performance testing, or you'll say that you want to put Selenium and Jira or something. That you can decide and say this is what I'll focus for the next few months.
Mm.
All right.
So how about if they are asking for strong Python and Java skills?
Same thing.
You should be
So
strong in Python, Java.
right, with Selenium, why they ask for it is there are some certain automation tools which work with these languages, right? So if you go to Selenium, all the focus is on Java, JUnit, Test Engine. Yes, there is no Python as part of IT learn right now, but uh, pick up a simple book or just do a Google search and learn it. Once you learn one programming language, learning the second one will not be that hard. However, the better thing to do is to stick with one language for now and say that, you know what, I know Selenium, but only with Java. So 80% of the job requirements may be with Java, you're taking care of. Only 10% may say that, hey, Python is what I want. Then it's different. All right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you cannot master everything in a short period. You have to decide which one. You cannot say that I know
Right.
everything from this job. This job has lot of skills. I know only couple of them. Okay. See,
Right.
for example, here quickly, if you go through, you'll see Java, then financial transactions, ad serving platforms, relational databases, SQL, then API testing. Mm, see, these are the different things that are there. Right? So, out of this, what is your confidence level in all of this? Right? That is what you need to look at.
Right. Right. Right.
All right. So let's see. Who else? Anyone else with a question before we move on to the next one? Rachit. And I'm also take these quick questions from the chat so that it'll be easy for us. Unmute Rachit. All right, Rachit, go ahead, please.
So please raise your voice.
More.
I have my
So,
speakers working.
okay, let's see. How is it now? Now I'm screaming.
Okay, okay, it's now fine.
Did, uh, did it? Did you raise your speaker volume for sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. So, just a quick question. Everyone else in the audience, is it the same for you? Do you have an issue with the audio, or was it okay? You think the voice is fine? Let me come closer to the machine and see if this works. It was good. So, how about now? Do you think with now is it good? Okay, I think most of you can hear clearly. So that's the thing. But if there's an issue, definitely bring it up, please. All right. Who else is there? Anyone else with a question? I'm gonna quickly put some of these questions here into a doc and make sure that all of these are answered. There are many questions which have come. Let me see which are the ones which are critical. Uh, Igor is putting something. There are a lot of questions here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here you go. Automation tools like UDP, meaning other tools which are VB script as scripting language. Right. So, meaning other tools. Automation tools like QTP, meaning I think they're referring to one or more tools. That's what they're saying. Do they expect to have mastery on different scripting language? I think Rachit, your question I've answered. If I want to look for manual testing, is there any particular keyword to bring jobs? So, Veena, number one, as I said, now I've answered this question, but uh, if you want to search for manual testing, you'll say manual testing, QA, quality assurance, software tester, okay, manual tester, manual test engineer, okay, QA engineer, QA analyst, software QA, IT QA. All right, all of these words can be used into it. Are these postings also for GC filing? I don't know, Saket. I have not seen that posting myself. But if that's a requirement that, hey, you need to process my green card, then you can talk about it when you're doing it. All right. Let's see what else is there here. Igor, you also have your hand raised. I'm going to read your questions, but I'll unmute you as well. Let's see. Igor, go ahead, please. I can hear you, Igor. You can try and speak if you would like to. Any negotiations through quantity of experience in specific fields? Yes. So from a skill perspective, it would come under it. They have lot of experience, they have the right skill, domain wise, technology wise, projects wise, and so on. And it comes under that skill area itself. If I do not have particular set of skills, example 10 years, but I have education skills, knowledge, can we negotiate with recruiters and hires? Yes. So that also comes in skill. Sometimes the skill has come to you through project experience. Other times the skill you have developed through training, and that is fine. It is not a bad thing. It is at least shows your drive to being doing things from a recruitment standpoint, from a um even though you have not got the opportunity to learn through your job, you have put the effort to take training for it. So this I've answered. Most of it is here. So let's see. What else is there? If I don't know, if you don't know more than hello world in Java and the job requires Selenium with strong Java, and if my mind froze after hello world, yeah, Rishi, again, I do not deny the challenge that you're facing on it, and I agree with it. um, that not everyone can easily learn programming, and you are frozen in terms of learning after hello world, then number one, that is not the job for you, right? Because why would I bring, for example, I need to uh, do some custom cabinets in my home, right? I'll bring a guy who says that, you know what, I have not done custom cabinets, but I want to try. Take me into the job. How will I take you if you have not done that? How will you do it? Correct? So that becomes a problem, team. That selecting someone without the right skill is a problem. If you cannot learn something and you're giving up on it, then I agree. You should not apply for that job. But if you ask me on the other hand, team, Rishi, let me ask you this question. Yes or no, it should be the answer. Okay? There is only a yes or no for this question that I'm going to ask you. Have you gone through this specific Selenium IDE core Java videos after this? Core Java tutorials in this link. Have you gone through this? Yes or no? No. Then you have not given yourself an opportunity to learn it. So if you go through these videos and then you say that I have not learned it yet, then I will agree that okay. The reason is sometimes I, at least, from my perspective, a lot of audience members have said that I have helped in teaching some of the complex things and made it a little easy for you. So give yourself the chance to see those videos and then you decide. All right, let's see. What are the prerequisites to learning Selenium? So, Harsha, from my perspective, there are no prerequisites. If you know Office, Excel, if you are good at communication a little bit, you're ready for it. In fact, the link that I put in the website, in the group, in the chat also, is saying all these videos. These are the videos you watch, you'll be fine. You don't need to do anything else. If my skill matches 75% of the job description, can I apply for that job? Absolutely yes, because that is where you have the room for flexibility. What else can be negotiated? Correct. So at that point, you can say that, hey, you know what, I have these, but this is where I'm weak at. Let's see. um, in Java, where to go learn and improve on Java? So Rishi, I've told you that is the link for you to go and learn Java. That's it. You don't need anything beyond it. While applying for a job, do we have to see exact match of the skills? I've answered that. Let's see. I think most of the questions are answered, team, right now. And that completes our phase zero. What I'll do is I'm going to take a 5-10 minutes break and we will continue with the phase. What is this? Let's see. Phase one. Okay. All right, team. So that's it. I'm keeping the session active. I'll be back in a few minutes and then we'll get started. All right. Thank you all.